Hello, friends! Welcome to Shenanigoons, your sorta-fairytale D&D campaign where you contribute to the chaos. I am Angela, your DM of the evening. Hello, players!
Hello.
Hello.
How are you all doing today?
So good.
Good.
I exist. It is a good day.
It is a fun time jumping off of our the rewatch that happened in our Discord channel of last week's episode. I was called fucking evil, and I quote.
You were.
That was a new one, and from Mouse no less. I was very shocked, but also very proud of myself.
Tasty viewer tears.
All right. Hello, my friends out in the internet. Hello, our friends. We are sans Harland tonight. Kyle is off doing fancy things with fancy cheeses and fanciness. I don't remember what he was doing, but he said fancy, and it got stuck in my head.
He was eating lots of fancy food with tiny forks.
Tiny forks. That really is the definition. So today, I'm sorry.
Eating fancy cheeses.
No, that's not my reaction. My reaction was your beloved Tessa explaining to me in DMs that Pimble has prestidigitation prepared for intimate moments for the various stages of lovemaking. And I went, wait, so the different stages have different scents, and he has proceeded to send me the scents of the different stages. It's very elaborate, and I very much appreciate it. I'll save them. They're going to go into my DM notes. He needs to be aware of that. Yeah, they're going to be in my DM notes. I really enjoyed that there was, let me see, where was it? Amber, cedar, lemongrass, and tonka bean. A no-nonsense scent for getting the job done. I was like, that's fair. I appreciate that he thinks that hard about it. So, hello everybody. Hope you're doing well tonight. We are, as you can tell, doing great. And we are ready to talk a little bit about our show. Hi, we are Shenanigoons. We play D&D and do nonsense, like you can see right now. Getting the job done. Yes, that's a cologne.
I am so...
Why? Why are you mortified? That was great. It's a great conversation, and I love... It's like reading a Redwall book. You're like getting all of those different like descriptors. Yeah, like different descriptors happening. It's really nice. Yeah, I follow a Redwall Feast Twitter bot that literally just posts descriptions of the feasts. It's wonderful. Anyway.
I'm just having a hard time correlating that with the fact
I did ask, and it's wonderful. Thank you.
All of the people, it was my partner that came up with that. I'm going, oh my God. Why did you say it?
I seem to have... There we go. Now you guys are in the right spot. Anyway, so... It's fine. We hadn't even rolled the wheel of causality, and you'd switched places. So we are Shenanigoons. We're part of the Nerdsmith Network. You can find us at nerdsmith.org or on our Patreon at patreon.com/nerdsmith if you like what you see tonight and want to continue supporting us. We have some cool things coming up for our patrons. I am in the middle of a massive life and work reorganization effort. Hopefully my momentum will last through the weekend, and I will have some cool stuff up on the Patreon this weekend. So We are here thanks to some really kick-ass sponsors. First and foremost, we are sponsored by World ANVIL, the most comprehensive world building and campaign management system on the internet, and also an incredibly fabulous creative community. You can check out our World ANVIL in the chat and find out more about the world of Vale. I'll be putting some more info as we go, including NPCs and locations that we've visited and adventures. You want to run the encounter in the pumpkin patch? I'll put the whole write-up up and you can run it in your own campaign, including Mr. Mammon. The instructions will be sound like Scooter from Borderlands. Yeah, you know, pumpkin's real, it's a real skill. You gotta work on it. You gotta get pumpkin.
Wow.
You gotta get punk good. No? Okay. Anyway, we are also sponsored by Die Hard Dice. Tessa, would you like to take the reins for a moment? Get your gourd.
So,
Sorry.
I was inspired by my husband's articulation of this scent for prestidigitation, and asked him to send me it again so I could repeat it. And now I'm sad that I did. So, anyway, so basically, the name of all of these scents that Pinball would use would be enthrall. But if you would like to not smell whatever Pinball is cooking up at the moment, although these are nice scents, you could just get your very own Dire D20 called enthrall, and you don't have to depend on a fictional character for your romance. Because honestly, if somebody got this for me as a romantic present, that'd work for me.
I mean, I know you don't have to, but at the same time, I like to think of. Yeah, I'm like, I've got a reputation to keep, Tessa.
Okay.
I got lots of graph paper. I have lots of graph paper partners.
Lovers, yes.
Yeah.
This is an accurate statement.
Yes, it is. So then, if you, which do you prefer then for your enthrall scent? The lavender, balsamic blackberry, and burgundy rose? Just the plain vanilla, or do you want that amber, cedar, lemongrass, and tonka bean?
I mean, I'm very curious about that one. But I think
I'm really curious.
I think I'm.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think I like the lavender, balsamic blackberry, and burgundy rose. It sounds really good, and it makes me really want to go get a red wine right now. So
I would say this dice actually does kind of bring that about for me, because it is that like rich purple color. Because I kind of think like Pinball would match the glitter to the scent, I think, in that. So I think it would look something like this. So if you would like a taste of Pinball's enthrall, you should go to dieharddice.com and use the coupon code DICEDRAGONS to get 10% off your order of a Dire multi-class D20 enthrall die. And that is honestly probably one of the strangest shout-outs for Die Hard that I have ever done. Please don't hate me, Die Hard. But
lean into it. Don't regret it. Don't take it back. You're fine.
Become one. Be enthralled with Die and Pinball.
So, all right, and finally, the one other thing that we have going right now is we are, as I said, a D&D campaign where you can contribute to the chaos. And some of the ways that you can contribute to the chaos include tipping the show via our Streamlabs link. The Streamlabs link is going to be in the chat in a moment. Here you go. So leave a comment with any details in the donation or in the tip jar make a comment on your Streamlabs tip, and so we know what your stuff is. For example, at the $5 level, you can contribute to the party's reroll pool. I don't know if somebody in the party can take over for Kyle tonight and find the pinned tweet in our Shenanigoons channel and find how many rerolls. We don't have to know the number right now, but just, go take a look. It will allow the players to reroll any D20 during the session. We have 4 at the moment. A lot of them were burned last session during our big battle. Not even burned, well used. They're there for a reason, so you might as well use them. Also, at $15, you can have us spin the Wheel of Causality, which is a in-game and random system of magic that people everyone's agreed to it, and some weird shit happens. Also, at the $25 level, you can help by contributing an NPC for the session. Give me some details, their name, their appearance, their pronouns, a fun detail about them, and I will incorporate them into the session. Sometimes they become major characters, sometimes they're just a fun little ships passing in the night moment that is worth it, like the eternal platypus that has seen all of space and time and it can't unsee it. We don't forget the platypus, even though they really only had a 1 millisecond of moment in the session.
Do not forget the time platypus. The time platypus is eternal.
It's true. Being a time platypus and all.
I see you.
Yeah, right? And then finally, at the $50 level, DM Ex Machina, you choose a player and they get 1 minute of DM powers. Take a look and see what happens.
All right, so.
Why am I doing this? I could do the intro first. So, everybody, we're going to flip to our credits and then we'll come back and start our game. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I need to let you know, Jinx, that all my Mic Club players are very mad at you right now because I shared the sense with them and they went, Angela! It's like, Angela didn't do it. It's Jinx's fault. Fine. Jinx! You're not even in that server. They're mad at you. In the best way, though. In that like, I can't believe you, sir, kind of way. It's wonderful. So, let's do a little recap. Last session, nothing much happened.
Yeah.
No? Am I wrong?
Fucking evil at all. No.
Am I wrong? Okay. Okay, so in the last session, you all found yourselves in the fort in Fort Wildwood. Fort Wildwood is a stronghold of the resistance against the realm of mechanists that colonize the island that you live on. It is a stronghold where it seems like it's been around for a while, especially when mechanists first started taking over and people fought against the rule of them, like trying to basically deal with the chaos growing on the island. But you arrived having just jettisoned out of the book, or rather, not out of the book, but out of the series of books that you apparently jumped through. And you had to sneak your way out of the fort because you were not prepared to deal with what you found there, which was a mass of soldiers and paper soldiers. it seems that whoever runs the fort had joined forces with the good old Lord of Tales. Now, you saw 2 dragons, and they were also made of paper. You saw gnolls, not gnomes. You saw gnolls, and you snuck your way out of the area with the help of a mousy paru and a paper Harland, as he disguised self, and Verlaine disguised themselves as a soldier as part of the Fort Wildwood troops. And you almost made it out without anybody noticing you. They were all a little everyone who was mortal. They seemed a little uncomfortable with the presence of the paper soldiers. They were just going to go with what the General Olivam, said, that they would help them overtake the forces of Mechanus after the recent incursion, the recent explosion, the sabotage that happened, that you were all privy to. You saw one of the chronograms, the wall getting exploded. And you didn't quite manage to get out without being noticed as a noticeably young woman, tiefling, caught sight of you all and kind of got wise to the fact that y'all didn't belong there. She, however, did not seem to give a rat's ass. I'll fill you in when we get to the scene, but you all got escorted by her out of the building so that bitch with the arm didn't see you. And I have the picture, and I'm going to share it with everybody, and I'm sorry.
Still mad at you.
You see a familiar face that Fear mentions. And I'm going to have it show up in 2 seconds. Okay. And you all see Katura Youngtaker, a former ally, half-orc, arm wrestler, professional arm wrestler. She apparently found the gargoyle gauntlet that you all had left, or at least came into possession of it, and it came into possession of her. She seems to be covered in ink with these massive gargoyle wings and claws, and you don't really know how to deal with it, so you get out of Dodge. It's probably for the best that you all got out of there. You didn't feel like you were ready to deal with that in the moment.
Still mad you did Cat so dirty.
I'm sorry. Not really. It's dramatic and there's stakes and you actually care, so it's great. So anyway, so you fled and got out of the area. Once you found out that Fear was a plane hopper, something became very interesting. And you met up with Fear's friend Isaac. They're the blind monk, I believe, or fighter. Both NPCs created by our viewers. They were able to bamf you to the Feywild, specifically right onto the porch of one of the Babas. The Babas, of course, being the real-world Fey counterparts of the Majesties in the Fey book. The sort of idyllic queens. The Babas being a little more hag-like and a little more upsetting. You
mean
are...
delightful.
I mean, they're great, but... So you are all currently in the Feywild. Currently with the Babas and reuniting with your kitten wards, Nickit and Toshi, the twins, little Tabaxi twins. They were very excited to see you when they found out you were there, and basically just barreled into all of you. Paru currently being embraced by the Baba Yaga, like from behind, just like a little pat on the head. Oh, thank you, Matthew. And you all are currently just taking a breath. Nickit, after jumping off a roof into Verlaine, kind of crawls out and goes over to you, Oliette. I have your stuff. Thank you for letting me. I didn't break anything.
How did it go?
We sat in the house.
Yeah, okay. I mean, how did that go?
Okay.
Fair.
Toshi's like, they're super nice.
Yeah?
The muffin is amazing.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm glad to see both of you. Why don't you hang on to that for a little bit? Show me what you can do with it. Maybe a little bit later.
Okay. Didn't get to practice a lot. You guys weren't gone that long.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
How long were we gone out here?
It's hours, I think.
Oh, wait, so we didn't actually come back instantaneously like we have every other time.
We were gone for a few days in there, right? Like,
Yeah, you were.
a couple weeks, or it was a while.
It was.
'cause we had to-
You had to prepare. Yeah, you
Yeah.
were there for probably several days, if not longer.
Well, I mean, the first time we were gone for what, 10, 15 years, and we came back within an hour.
Baba Soli speaks up. You think that time works in any way predictable?
That's a fair point.
No, we kind of gave up on that already.
That is for the best.
As long as I don't go backwards in time. That would be upsetting. Actually, I don't know that it would.
Not if you could warn yourself about something.
Yeah, but then if you warn yourself, then your past self is going to make a different decision, and then the future self might not exist, or the universe could just
Can
collapse
we
in on
stop
itself.
thinking for a second?
Okay, you're right. Sorry.
Verlaine's just kind of like, I could do with like a millisecond of still brains.
Right.
You okay?
Yeah.
It's just
I'm not sure I have a brain that moves.
That is an entirely different
Baba
conversation.
Baba Dishe is like, oh, I'm sure it moves. Ugh. She's like shucking a crab or something. You don't even know where it came from. She's just constantly preparing food, and you're not even sure why or where.
And Baze is not going to eat it, so she doesn't care.
There's just a splurch noise, though. It's bad.
I think I might go check in. And I'll turn to Baba Soli. Is the book inside, or can I?
It is being kept safe. Yes.
I think we need to send them an update. I don't know how we've been here. Gesturing kind of like, well, I guess not really here. We've been away for a while. I don't know what's going on there, so I thought we could fill them in.
You seem so. You
Yeah.
have You have a look of weight upon you. And she turns towards her house. Sort of saunters up the porch.
I will. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And Oliette, you follow Baba Soli up to the up into her house. Her hut is I think we described it as kind of like a decrepit collection kind of place, almost like a hoarder sort of situation. And she steps, like, kind of winds her way through some of these really off-kilter shelves and to a chest. A chest made of iron and covered in spikes, and like you feel like you'd probably hurt yourself if you even tried to touch it. And she just very casually like lays out her hand on top of it, seemingly just missing every spike that's on this chest, and then just immediately opens it. It doesn't even touch a lock or anything like that. And it opens, and from it spews out this very slow, dark smoke, this like little cloud. And she wafts her hand away, like kind of brushing it away. And she reaches in a little deeper than you think she probably would have needed to if it actually stopped at the floor. And she pulls out the book. And as she turns around, you see on her face a little furrowed brow as the smoke is coming from the book, not from the chest.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it seems you have been through quite a bit. And she puts it on the table nearest them and starts flipping through the book. And these little clouds of smoke. You see, as she looks through some of it, some of the pages straight up burned. Some of the pages. Like every so often there'll be a page that has like that line and like some of the pages gone. I assume that your conflict was quite considerable.
You know, sure. That's a very diplomatic way to say that I almost died, and then we got shunted through a bunch of portals, and we saw this like giant. I was blind for a little while. It was a lot, and I'm just gonna kind of launch into this story to fill her in about the battle with the Queen and this journey that she took us on, and I will tell her that the Lord of Tales is leaving hints and like led us, he obviously thought she was going to follow, but led us back to the prime material plane, which is how we had to make a big old circle. But I will just relay the story.
As you're telling this story, she's carefully flipping through the pages. At one point, she like sort of smears her hand across a page and slaps a flicker of black goop onto the floorboard, and you just see it go and just kind of sizzles a little bit in the ground. It looks like she's just slowly cleaning up what she finds.
Probably not good.
I do not think that anything of tremendous importance was damaged. It's mostly cosmetic.
That can be pretty tremendous.
But
I
I can provide what I can provide. You said you wished to learn from me.
Yes.
Well, It's about time that I began showing you what can be learned.
That would be incredible. I'm already doing like the Mandarin collar. Like I love what I've got. The aesthetic is really working for me, and so this is like my version. But anyway, yes. Sorry, it's been a long day. Yes.
Fine. And she reaches out across the table, pulls out a big rotten wooden box and lifts it open, and you see a bunch of tools and things. There are a few pieces, and God, I just... so, one of the things that she pulls out is a piece, like a long, almost looks like a tongue depressor, but it's made of like ivory or bone. And she pulls it out, and it has these
like
runes.
A bone folder?
Yeah, it's a bone folder. I am also laughing in my head because Griffin McElroy is 6 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, the
Like in my head
bone
too.
folder, literally made of bone. She pulls it out and starts. You watch her with that. You watch her pull a salve from the box in a little jar, and she sort of coats her fingertips with it. These long, jagged nails, but coats her fingertips with it before she starts touching the pages again. And she's muttering a little bit under her breath, and you see the smoke slowly receding. It is as if she is magically restoring the book, like how an archivist might. But she's not. It's not going back exactly the way she found it. She's sort of filling in the gaps as best she can. You watch at one point her nails drag across one of the burned pages where like almost a third of the page has been burned in towards the spine of the book. And as her nails sort of scrape across the page, you see that the slightly still burning, still smoldering edges of the page, the smolder goes out, it stops, and then like this, not black, not like the Lord of Tales, but like a gray green, almost swampy color starts spreading out over the page behind it and like filling in the spot. So the page kind of melts out back into the right shape. But it's again a little discolored. It's not quite the same. There's almost like if you look in the grain of the paper, of the vellum in the book, there's almost like a little bit of veining or scarring along the page edge that has just been created. And she does that for a number of pages. She's there for easily a half an hour or more doing this. It's very meticulous, very detailed. And the bone folder she's using as it's intended. There are spots where things were crumpled or folded over, and she's smoothing out the edges of the page. And when she hands it back to you, you have the book. It seems to be at least not burning anymore. But yeah, it seems like it's a little mottled in the coloration on the pages, not as pure gold along the edges as I think it was before, if I remember correctly. There's a lot of this kind of tarnish to it, but it is still whole, and you still, when you pick it up, you still feel the connection to it that you normally did. There might be a slight shade of difference to what it feels like, but it feels like when you've connected to Baba Soli's power. So you think maybe she's touched the book in some significant way, but not in a way that's changed what it is to you. So you don't know what that means for the world in the book, but as a focus, good as new with maybe some minor aesthetic tweaks. This should serve you adequately. And I do not believe I changed anything too much in the making of it.
Thank you. Am I going to learn how to do that eventually?
Perhaps one day.
Okay. Okay.
Restoration is an art that takes much practice.
Do you have any books that you don't care about that much that I could practice on?
There are perhaps some answers to be found here. If you wish to practice, I could perhaps lend you something.
Okay. Thank you. And I'm just going to probably park it somewhere in here. I do think Oliette's probably not 1,000% prepared for the conversation she needs to have with Harlan, so she's gonna hide out in
Kind
here
of
for a
avoid.
little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, and just try to check in, just make sure the line is secure first, and then
Sure.
go from there.
Baba Soli does say to you when you thank her, "You are already in my service. But in the future, my dear, I would refrain from such statements of gratitude to those in the Fae. It could create an expectation of obligation on your part.
That's fair.
Do not know, well, I do know what they've been teaching you in that book, but I guarantee that out here in the Feywild proper, the rules are less forgiving.
That's fair. I think that that's helpful. And I'm just gonna put my head down and start trying to write because
Yeah, go for it.
yeah. But yeah, it's not anything. Just like, how's it going? Like, where are you? Trying to just see if I can tap in and make contact.
Okay. So you check in, and you write some sort of message to Her Majesty the Word, and after a moment of sort of anxious waiting, you do get a written message back. It says, "The battle is long ended. Our realms are safeguarded for now. Not without its trials and losses.
I will not respond to any of that. All I will say is something like, I will check in as quickly as possible.
The quiet is almost too much to bear, I will admit. But it is not unwelcome. Not your quiet, she means, like,
Sure. Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
realm.
Yeah, yeah. which is worse. Yeah, so I'm just gonna close the book and kind of just chill out for a bit in here. Watch Baba slowly work.
Baba slowly working sort of involves her perusing her collection, all the bizarre ways that she stores information. At one point, you see her pull out what looks like a phylactery that has liquid and some kind of bone inside it, and she polishes it like she's, you know, dusting trinkets on an old lady's wall. But she does sort of screw off the top of it and like slightly swig a little bit and like shake it around in her mouth like mouthwash. And then she swallows it and then puts the cap back on the phylactery and puts it on the shelf. Little weird, gross things all over the place. So, as Oliette is hiding out in Baba Soli's hut, what are the rest of you doing? We'll say in generals at least a couple hours. We'll say an hour passes.
Haru is probably teaching Toshi how to create ceramic teapots from the muck and the mud, like she did when she was a little Nicosteling, and basically showing him what she used to do and how to create different
I love that.
from different things around. So basically a wild crafted tea party is what she's doing for Toshi.
My teapot turned into a bowl.
It's okay. You put your finger right here.
Okay.
And then there's an opening, and then you just pinch it out, and you got a little spout again.
Pinch.
Pinch.
His nail,
Yeah,
his claw goes through. It's on my
okay.
nail.
All right. Try poking from the inside, not the outside.
Okay. And he tries to follow your instructions for how to do Fae pottery.
Fae pottery.
All right. What about you, Beza?
I think Beza's probably spending time hanging out with the kittens. She definitely is going to go say hi to Baba Tifu since we're back.
Baba Tifu's just sort of lumbering and looming over everyone. That long, that long neck.
I think she's probably spending time filling her in on what happened during the battle and how things went, the kind of moves that her counterpart in the book used, that kind of thing.
Just kind of listens and nods, occasionally gives an unsolicited suggestion as if there was something to be done at this point, even though it's like past tense. Just this rumble in her chest kind of shakes the area around her.
It's a whole... Her conversation is probably a whole lot of... And then Mom had them do this, and I mean, it kind of worked... I mean, it wasn't the smartest thing, I guess, maybe, but, you know, that suggestion you made, Bam, is a good one, and she's just, like, bouncing back and forth.
Okay. Verlaine is nearby, just kind of cleaning his sword, though that's not really that easy to do in the middle of a swamp. It looks like he's chatting a little bit with Acacia, the satyr, who follows the houses. Just kind of getting a sense of what's been going on or where the huts are going and that sort of thing. Trying to figure this, just get bearings. That's seems to be Verlaine's main focus right now. So, a little time passes. It is there anything you want to, any other information that you want to collect or get from the Babas or from the book?
I think Haru gets a little mischievous at some point.
Okay.
And with Toshi nearby and remembering her brother and their trip to Chanterelle and the slugs and the slingshot, she fashions a little slingshot for Toshi, and
Okay.
she shows him how to use it, and then just is ever so slightly just flings one at Verlaine. Oh god, I missed! Oh no! And tries not to.
Right on the sword.
Sorry.
You're proud of yourself.
Maybe.
Are you actually sorry though? Because I don't know if I believe you.
Oh, not remotely. I don't think she's remotely sorry.
I'll clean it up.
Why? It fell in the mud.
No, the mud fell on it, technically.
I mean, both are possible.
He stands up and does a little, like, twirly motion with the sword to, like, knock off most of the mud. And then he sits back down with it and starts, like, wiping off the excess. He's got a little smirk, but he's, like, half amused, half annoyed.
So when you aim, make sure you aim slightly up and it goes farther. If you aim straight on, the gravity's going to take it. It's going to fall back into the mud too fast.
Sure.
Give it a little bit of an arc.
I've seen like a thing where somebody has like they have like a rock in a sling and they like spin around really, really fast. Can I do that? Is that like a thing you can do?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And
Try it with mud first.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll progress to rocks.
Okay.
It's a good way of protecting yourself at a distance.
Oh, okay. And he slops a bunch of mud into this sling, and he steps out a little bit away from you and starts spinning around with it in his hand. He's not doing it with any technique that is going to allow him to throw. He's just spinning with the mud sling. What do I do?
Oh, okay. Hang on.
He's got too much
she'll
momentum at this point.
Slow it down. And she'll like walk him through it and slow it down so he actually learns how to do it.
Okay.
Base is like watching and wincing.
Beza, the one who probably really should be teaching him.
I can use a sling. I'm not very good at it.
It's fine. So you spend a little bit of time with Toshi, and it does occur to me that you do have two guests of the Babas hanging out.
I completely forgot.
Because they came with you. Fear, the tiefling, and Isaac, I think he's human. Isaac
would have been keeping them close too,
Sure.
just in case, because she doesn't know what all the Babas are gonna do.
Isaac's a little hesitant being around Baba Tifu because every time she speaks, the ground shakes. And he's just like, that is the most unsettling.
Yep. That's why she's badass mom.
That's funny. I'm gonna be over here, and he backs up about 10 feet and flicks the coin in his hand, and when it comes back down, there's a chair behind him, and it's like a stool, and he's just, I'm gonna be back here.
All right.
And he's just kind of anxiously sitting around. Fear is, just rolls her eyes at Isaac, and, was just kind of inspecting and looking around, very curious at everything. I've only ever seen these from a distance.
They're neat, huh?
Yeah. A little scarier than I expected, too. I mean, is that all... Oh, those faces?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like off a person. Ooh. Isaac's like, what? Fear's like, no, don't worry, nothing, don't worry about it. Sometimes I really envy him.
I mean, gotta think though, they've been hunted just for who they are for so long. At some point, you gotta figure out a way to deter anybody from trying it again.
It's not any worse than hunters that put animal heads up on the wall.
Yeah, kind of, but like, people don't typically make, like, I don't know, curtains out of the faces of the animals they kill.
I mean, not the faces, but the furs.
But you recognize there's a distinction since you just made it.
I mean,
Like
there
if
is.
you saw a bunch of, like, she makes like this bizarre face, like a bunch of deer staring at you from a curtain, that'd be horrifying, you know?
I mean,
Just
yeah, probably a little.
that's all.
It'd also be
that's
very
all I'm saying.
not working very well as a curtain because there's all those holes in your head.
You hear Isaac just lose his shit. You guys are so fucking weird. I love it.
We have very interesting experiences, I guess is the best way of putting them.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Things are a little, less strange when you grow up raised by one of the Fae Queens, or at least a version of them.
Yeah, Baba Disha is like pretender.
Well, I mean, it's not their fault. They didn't create themselves.
And an inferior copy does not itself make itself, so yet it is still inferior.
Mimicry is the most sincere form of flattery?
Character assassination is quite an insult, though.
This is true. This is true.
That's true.
Not
I'd like
that,
to reiterate, not their fault, though.
I came out relatively unscathed. I like to think he actually didn't do that much. He actually got fairly close with me. And Baba Disha kind of like grins with all these like slightly rotten fangs. There's always like a very questionable piece of food stuck between her fangs that you're like, you're either questioning how long it's been there or what it came from.
I mean, the Queen of the Folk is definitely friendly and always trying to feed people.
There's a joke in there, but I don't have it in my head.
She likes a good meal.
Speaking of, where is Harland? Looking around for Harland.
That's what the other queen
I'm a
said.
little peckish. So Isaac and Fear are hanging out, and Acacia's there too. There's 3 random NPCs.
With the rest of the NPCs.
So a little bit of time passes. You all just take a breather. And we'll say night starts to fall. And the houses of the Babas all kind of get a little closer together as evening falls, almost creating a little more of a tight circle. And at the bottom of the tight circle, they're in more of a clear marsh rather than a swamp. So there's like shallow pools around, but there is some dry land with long grass and stuff, and that's what you're think of it like. And it was foggy too. Think of it like that without the corpses, that field in Lord of the Rings that's all foggy, that like someone gets dragged into the water. It's like that. Lots of long grass and lots of fog. Seems to be daylight, but just you can't see anything. And you're all hanging out in there.
Haru starts to put up the phosphorescent spores to make it like a little bit cheerier.
And the Baba Yaga's standing there with her like really gnarly horns and has this little like walking staff that's also really gnarled, just kind of sitting with it, her chin on it. Oh, that's so lovely, my dear.
Thank you. She like makes some spiral up the staff and kind of like light it a little bit.
And she's delighted. She's like delighted old lady, rotten minotaur. Valaine's staying by the kittens. Sort of keeping a close eye. And does Oliette eventually wander out of the house?
Okay. Especially as it gets towards, evening or whatever equivalent of that we have here. We'll probably go down, and I assume honestly, most likely help Harland clear out a little bit of grass and set it up so we could make a small fire that's not going to burn the entire marsh down.
Acacia definitely helps. She seems very adept at that sort of thing as well. And so eventually you have this big mound of sort of, not peat, because peat is flammable, but this mound of like rocks and hard earth that allows you to have a bit of a fire pit going. But you're all like hanging out, and the houses are close enough that you can basically hang out on the porches. I imagine that the least gross porches are probably the Baba Yaga's and Baba Soli's. Those are right next to each other too, so you basically can all sit on the two porches near each other and be pretty close. You can talk and stuff. And there is Baba Dishe makes food. It's very rich and warm, which is hot meals welcome. It's that sort of like Lane heard the quotes in my voice when I said food. It's food in the same way that there was food at the Reclamation Center. You're just not sure what this stew consists of. There's a lot of contrasting colors. You're not quite sure what's going on.
Oh god, it's suspicious stew like in Minecraft.
It is suspicious stew.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Who partakes in suspicious stew, by the way?
Haru
Don't get
totally
me.
does.
No.
Haru is like, whatever.
No, okay.
Beza doesn't have to
So-
eat, and she's perfectly happy with that right now.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Haru and Button are absolutely eating suspicious stew.
great. Let me, how about you give me a D100?
Oh, lovely.
Oh boy.
This is what I get for eating stew.
Suspicious stew? Yeah, absolutely.
That'll teach you.
Yep.
Hey, Daisy, you want to help me roll? I started shaking the dice, and she just, like, looked up at me. 48.
48. All right. So it looks like suspicious stew. It sort of vacillates between tasting like warm fresh bread and burning, like burnt. Like there's a char to it. And you let me see. see. You don't really notice anything different or anything weird happen, though you do feel that little stomach ache that you feel, or that little rumble that happens. And so yeah, you don't note anything weird yet.
Yet.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Toshi eats a big bowl of it, and he goes into a food coma pretty quickly after eating a massive bowl of it, and he falls asleep on your shoulder. He's a little taller than you. He's just,
She just kind of lets him sit, and she'll actually scoot back a little bit so he can lay in her lap, and she'll just kind
sure.
of gently stroke his hair. Let him
Uh-huh.
snooze.
Verlaine sees, wanders over a little bit as people are talking. His bowl is in his hand. He's not, there's a lot left. Iron stomach, that kid.
It's good.
Is it? Like,
I mean, obviously he hoards food because of how he grew up.
well, yeah.
So bother him.
I just mean, like, the willingness is what worries me.
That's yes.
One day he's just gonna. I mean, and if it's not a baba, what do you think's actually gonna be the thing that causes the real trouble?
No.
Yeah.
And I'll be here to help if that ever happens. So
Someone's got to keep him out of trouble.
you're doing an excellent job.
This was not where I expected to find myself.
In the middle of a swamp or a parenting kitten?
That one. The swamp I would have put money on. This particular swamp, not exactly.
I'm sorry. Was I ignoring you?
Nick, it's like, what the fuck's happening here? Huh?
I mean, there's worse places to be.
I mean, we were just at one.
That's true. It's nice to get a breath, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry for getting that on your sword.
It's fine. I was prepared.
Very prepared, yes.
I should go chat with and he kind of nods his head over towards Baba Zasha, who's sort of off in the corner like she normally is. Can't see anything but the like vivid blue green eyes out from underneath the mask. And she's glancing over a little bit.
Go chat. I've got him.
Thank you.
Anytime.
And he hauls himself up off the stair, and gives your shoulder a little bit of squeeze and leaves.
She just looks up and smiles at him and then goes back to stroking Toshi's ear.
It twitches.
Tries not to blush. I was hoping it's dark enough that no
It's
one
really
noticed.
good that Toshi's unconscious right now.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Oliet, eventually you help Harland out, you get the fire going. And so yeah, so do you all do anything until you go to sleep, or are you just
I would tell everybody about the message that I got from the Queen of the Word and let them know, it seems like a long time has passed. So they said, she said that it's kind of quiet right now. I don't know if that's 100% the good quiet, but it does at least seem like they are not actively in combat at arms. So maybe it's okay for the moment. We should probably head back when we can. There's a lot of loose ends, and now everything has been, all the cards are on the table, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know what that means for the queens or for anything, really.
I mean, I assume that she's not coming back if they're fleeing like that.
But there's a lot of broken pieces that she's leaving in her wake.
Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like for them.
Yeah. We'll we'll do what we can. Do we want to check in on them? Maybe after we take a nap?
Yeah, I need to make sure Pinball knows that we're safe, so he doesn't go
Right.
gallivanting across the who knows where.
The sight of Pinball gallivanting would be pretty fucking majestic, though, if we're being honest.
Do you think his horse would be
Yeah.
covered in glitter too?
Absolutely.
I don't think he would ride a horse. That's going to get fur all over his outfit. Like, you have to think, you know what I mean? He's at minimum in some kind of a carriage or some kind of carpet or something that's not going
A
to ruin
magic flying carpet is very Pimble's style.
it.
I could definitely see him riding one of those.
Yeah.
Lounging, in fact.
Can one
Yep.
gallivant while lounging?
If anyone can, it's Pinball.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
But yes, we should check in. I should probably check in with my uncle. I suppose it's been a while since I've spoken to him. Is there anybody else we need to reach out to tonight? I think I can do that. Also, what are we going to do about Kat?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Volane kind of stares at the ground a little bit about that.
I would love to not. If there's a different way to resolve it, I think one of those playthroughs is enough for me for this lifetime, personally.
I don't think I can remove it the same way I did the first one.
I don't think so either.
It looks like it's too attached. I'd have to cut off too much.
Why don't we go one step at a time? We know we need to handle the book, and then we'll deal with the cat situation. I think we're gonna get ourselves so worked up over everything that we're not gonna be able to do anything effectively.
Fair. Okay. So step one is go to sleep. And then step two is call Pinball.
Yep.
And then go back to the book or try to figure out. My only hesitation in going back, we wouldn't lose that much time out here, I guess, so maybe it makes more sense to do it that way, but he's literally amassing forces as we speak. You know who we should call? Dave Bautista.
Yeah, hold on. I have him. Hold on.
We
General
should let him
Alabam?
know.
Is that General Alabam?
No,
guy
the
that
secret
started
guy.
at the
You mean the one that you,
resistance
you
guy.
stole
Yes.
the papers from, right?
Yeah, Thorgrid.
Horgrid.
Whole ugly word. We don't use that word in this house.
Permanently liberated.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I didn't.
But yes, he might be somebody worth reaching out to. He may have. If anybody's got their ear to the ground, it's got to be him, right?
Probably.
I can't believe you want seconds button. You had like half of my bowl.
Anybody else that we need to talk to?
How are things in the book?
Ask a lot of questions. I know that they are currently quiet.
Like peaceful quiet or like calm before the storm quiet?
Yes. It's hard to pick up on tone, right? In text, you never fully know, but Her Majesty of the Word typically is a little saucier when she's in a better mood. She seemed, I don't know, something's off still, so I do think it's worth going back. It doesn't sound like we're going to step back out onto a battlefield presently.
Well,
Maybe an emotional one.
I think it would be a good idea to check in there and not lose more time. Because what if something happens while we're trying to take care of what's happening out here?
So we'll call Pinball and then we'll go in the morning.
Yeah.
Sounds as good a plan as any.
Okay. It occurs to me that we don't know the state of Chanterelle right now.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we could check on your parents if you wanted to, Paru. I could call the Yeti, but I don't think we're gonna get a lot of information out of him.
Oh my god. Every time I forget about him, and every time I'm delighted when I remember he exists. I really do have to make him in Hero Forge.
I think
Have to, it just...
this is going to sound really strange, but if I don't know, then everything's fine. It might make it
Sure.
real enough that I'm going to want to go back and forget the book. I don't know.
That's fair. It's up to you. I won't call if you don't want me to. I just don't know anybody else there to check on. Wait, does the Sweater Daddy live there? No, he was just visiting.
He was just visiting.
What's
You called
her
the
face?
professor?
The annoying one.
Raffida?
Yeah, that was supposed to pay us money and
Oh
didn't.
yeah, ask Raffida.
Hammerford. Von Hammerford. What was it?
Oh, Markle
Von
von
Hammer-
Hammerford-Schmidt? Professor von
Yeah,
Hammerford
that
Schmidt?
one. Yes.
Sure. Sure.
She technically, I think they lived there. They had an office there.
Yeah, they had an office there.
Raffida was close with Kat. That might be a better choice.
Is that the wizard on the bike that we encased in?
No,
It was the
Raffida.
goblin pirate.
Raffida was the goblin
okay.
pirate in Cat's entourage.
I was like, I'm not calling that little punk bitch wizard.
Punk bitch wizard. That was his technical term.
Not calling him.
I mean, he pretty much was, though.
What a peen. Okay. Well, if anyone thinks of someone, I I would be happy to call. I can do it a few times, not very many.
I got nobody. My family's you guys and the people in the book.
That was the saddest thing she's ever said. I got nobody.
Oh yeah, we've never met your
No.
origin story, Beza?
You mean the gnome that carved me?
Yeah, we never made it that far.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't
He's
even
out
know
there
if I could
somewhere.
call it too, so.
I can pretty much guarantee that he didn't carve any more automatons out of air shale now that he's figured out that that results in a goa.
He's made a little fleet of them.
Maybe.
Considering the Mechanist Authority pretty much scooped me up and put me in a, what was they calling them? Reclamation center right away. I don't think it's high on his list of to-dos.
Fair.
Although, to
Okay.
be fair, I don't know that he was planning on turning me in. It was his ex-wife.
That bitch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. I guess I will probably, I mean, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'll just cast Sending to
Okay.
Uncle Ebzik.
Okay.
I have no idea what time it is there. I just realized so well. So in Infernal, which to everyone else, I assume the Babas, or at least some of them, all probably understand what I'm saying. But anyone
Probably.
else, it kind of just sounds like I'm spitting out like crackling fireplace sounds, or
Who lit another fire? Isaac
Yeah.
asks. No, honestly, Isaac might, nah, probably doesn't. Continue.
oh yeah, fear is still there, I suppose. So
Yeah.
fear would also understand.
Fear understands.
Okay, I will cast Sending to Uncle Eb. Oh, I forgot I gotta count this one. Hello, Uncle. All is well. Sorry, it's been a while. We've been quite busy, but everyone's in good health. Miss you terribly. That's it.
It is a relief to hear from you. I was under the impression something dangerous could be afoot. And I am glad to hear you are well. I would very much like to see you again soon. If that is possible.
Okay. Well, I think Uncle Eb is well. I don't think I think he would tell me if something wild was happening at home, so we're good there. That's one.
Excellent.
Okay, who do you send to next?
Guess Professor von Hammerford Schmidt.
Okay.
No, I'm going to send to what's the little vigilante Modron's name?
I mean,
Vector.
Vector.
Vector. Would I? He would be able to receive a sending,
Yeah,
right?
he's a creature.
I'm aware. Okay.
Yeah, it's a creature.
Alright. Okay.
My God,
Hopefully he-
Vector. I forgot.
Yeah.
So the little Arcano socialist
Yeah.
Modron. monodrone. Sure. What do you say?
I would say, hi Vector, it's me, the gorgeous girl who stabbed you. Hope everything's good. Have you recruited anyone else? Are there any updates? That's what I would send.
I am going to assume that this channel is secure. There have been some new recruits to the cause. My comrades and I have found a number of concerning communications as of late. There seems to be something moving amongst the mechanist ranks, shifting to a different chronogram. But less...
He's gonna get cut off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Were you counting?
I was typing and I'm looking at it and there's no way that's less than 20.
That's because I usually don't worry about it.
Okay. So, y'all remember that cute little Modron that and by we, I mean I almost destroyed. Apparently something is happening. There's some moving and shaking in the Mechanist Authority. Something about a new chronogram. I don't know if that means Rose Upon the River.
No,
or...
sorry. They were moving to a different chronogram. They weren't making a new one. They were some of the forces have been shifting to a different one.
Right.
I can't imagine why forces would be moving. You know, it's not like one of them blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They could be shifting over to that one.
They could.
He would have been cut off after saying, "My comrades and I have found."
It's fine. You get the information. It's not worth it.
Okay. Well, that's also helpful to know. We could call Feline. I just would like to know what is happening out here before we disappear again.
It's valid.
We haven't spoken to them since we left.
Yeah, hopefully everyone there's all right.
Fucking Mouse. No, I think Keith is fine. Keith's not going to have his ear to the ground and be able to tell you anything. Mouse, you already know what Keith would say. My name is Keith. Also, Oliette never met Keith.
That's true. That's true. I never did.
Anyway.
Jelly Wizard. Yep. Kyle wants Jelly Wizard.
Oh, God.
Fuck, that was the douche that Oliette was talking about before.
Wizard.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think I can only do this one more time.
Hi, Mitch.
Hello, Mitch. You know who knows everything but doesn't care about much at all? Sage.
Sage.
would probably not know. Who are you talking about?
You know who we also left behind in the battle that we ended up facing the Queen? Sage.
I forgot we left Sage.
He's fine. But remember, Sage got in there on his own, so don't worry about it.
Sage can get out.
He figured his own shit out. It's fine.
Not worried. Okay.
Chronogram 11 is the one that had the explosion. Lakita was the old settlement's name.
Isn't that the one we saw the airships going to?
Yes.
Because we passed it when we were
Yes.
going down the mountain.
You saw the Mechanist airships going that way.
You know, if we wanted to speak to Pinball a little longer, we could ask him to meet us again in a dream.
Or at least you.
Can
I don't
you
know
do
if
that?
I get pulled into it again.
Oh, I can't do that. But Pinball can set it up. Pinball knows what. And have we not told you that Beza is like dream jumping?
Oh no, I knew that.
Oh, then yeah, that's Beza could come. Maybe.
I mean, maybe. It only happened the one time, so we don't actually know.
Pinball can bring other people.
He didn't bring me on purpose, though. I just showed up.
True.
Which
I
is
think
weird, because I don't
we need to
actually
make-
dream.
Gotta make sure that it's a safe dream to jump into with Pinball. Who knows? You could be like flying through the air and then just plummet to your doom.
Yeah.
I bet he dreams about all sorts of wacky stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last time it was just Uncle Eb's bookstore.
He was dreaming about Uncle Eb?
Oh, yeah,
Hope so.
wishes. No, he was dreaming about the bookstore.
I hope so.
I tried, Chris. I tried
Shipping
for
with
you.
all your heart.
Well, if we can't think of anything else constructive to do with it, then I might reach out to Pinball.
Sounds great.
All right.
Okay, so I will cast Sending to Pinball.
All right. Send a pimple.
I would say, Pinball, it's Oliette. We're okay for the time being. Time is it? And can you bring other people into those dreamscapes?
Roger standing down. What did you ask besides the dreamscape? Did you see something else?
What time is it?
Oh, sorry.
And-
Roger standing down, middle of the afternoon. Interrupting lunchtime. Either myself or one other person. Either myself or one different person.
So, just so I understand, Pinball saying he can enter into a dreamscape.
He can
or
choose
send
one dream messenger, whether it's himself or someone else.
Ah, got it. Okay. Okay. Great. All right. Well, that's all the sendings that I have. So
Okay.
I will just sit with that for now.
Lane starts scooting the kittens, like, find a dry spot and go to sleep. You get a sending from Pimble a couple moments later. By the way, that shield's done. Don't know if that's of any consequence to you now. It's just, I'm holding on to it. It's pretty snazzy.
I will respond. Working on it. It's night here. Need a favor. Please go to Ebbs and tell him to take a nap. Send him to me.
Fuck you, you beat me to it. I was gonna do it anyway. I was gonna do it as a surprise. It's fine. It's also very sweet.
Sorry.
It's very sweet. It's very cute that she asks for him. Okay, so Verlaine scoots the kittens to bed. The Babas all different at different stages just kind of like meander or slink or slop off the porches and into their houses, depending on who it is. Isaac and Fear sort of approach you all at one point. So, as much as this has been fun, I think I'm gonna be needed back at the fort. Have you explained any of this to them? That maybe you shouldn't go back to the fort because this like an evil dude that's kind of, have you explained any of the Lord of Tales Inc. stuff with her?
Beza and Paru would have
Yeah.
relayed some of that
I think
information.
we would have filled them both in.
So now here's
Yeah.
the big question. If she proposes going back anyway,
You want to
keep an
lay
eye.
some... Want to lay some discord?
oh, I just meant keeping an eye on things. Cause too much of a hassle and you start attracting eyes.
I mean,
But if I leave it alone and I keep an eye on things, I can tell you what the plan is.
That would be extremely helpful.
Help you keep out of their way if you need.
I like that idea.
I mean, it would definitely be appreciated, but it's not going to be super safe. Are you sure you're all right with that?
Her and Isaac both get this like, oh you sort of look on their faces. We'll be fine.
Anybody who was able to pull us out of that mess that quickly, I think will be fine.
I was inside Verlaine's hand. I only saw parts of it.
Isaac's just like, what a weird sentence.
It makes more sense if you have all the details.
Sure. Elaine's like, it kind of doesn't, though.
I mean, it's fine. I can live inside the pocket space in your palm. I don't have to breathe.
What is our life? I don't... Elaine just kind of shakes his head. Just to simplify everything, Acacia offers to get Fear and Isaac back to Faegro.
Okay.
Walk them back to the swamp and get them back connected to that so they can make their way around. And they head out. It's been an experience. They leave. So the rest of you are left just kind of sleeping at the Babas. At one point, as it gets a little later, Baba Zasha's the last one there, I think. And Verlaine helps her up. She puts a hand out, and Verlaine sort of offers her an arm and walks her up the stairs. She's kind of a little... not slow from age or anything, just... it seems like she always has a little bit of a labored walk to her. And Verlaine is very, very gentle and patient and just kind of is just slowly helping her up the stairs to her door. And,
Maru's poor heart.
well, and he gets her to the door, and Baba Zasha just sort of nods and reaches out with this, like, wrapped, kind of gnarled hand a little bit and just kind of, like, puts it on the side of Verlaine's face. And He just has sort of a, not a smile on his face, but it's just a friendly acknowledgement. Like, and she goes inside. And he just looks out on the balcony of the porch for a little bit. Kittens are curled up together on probably Baba Yaga's porch.
Which is mostly where Paro is as well.
Yeah.
Paro's definitely on Baba Yaga's porch. And I'm just keeping an eye on them.
Probably across the way from Villain, because he's just looking out the side of Baba Zash's house. Kind of looking out into the swamp fog. Not seeing much, but it seems like he might be just on a watch. Y'all do anything before you go to bed?
Haru might try to get Oliet's attention.
Okay. So it's a little late. Most people are asleep.
Is gonna like make her way quietly as possible over there.
Okay. Say maybe Villain and Harland are chatting on the porch. So they're away.
Do you have a second? I know you're getting ready for bed, but
Yeah.
So I know things between you and Villain were really complicated and strained. But I want Are you like cool there? I mean, I know you're with Harland and I think they're really nice and really like them, but I don't want to step on your toes if you are not over them or if you're not okay with it. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. This is... this is awkward.
It is.
I could... I'll just go. Pretend I didn't.
Oh, you can't. First of all, you can't just drop something like that and then walk away. You can sit down.
Okay. She sits.
Bitch, take a seat. Let's gab.
Haru is so awkward. Yeah. So yeah, she sits.
Bold move. Respect it. You can relax. There's nothing. I don't bite. Well,
That's not what happens.
I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of things that go over my head, but people throwing eyeballs at each other is usually not one of them. Kind of guessed it like a while ago.
A while ago. I must not have even noticed it.
Do you remember Mr. Mammon? Do you remember that whole... Do you remember Ravenovia?
Yeah.
No. Okay, no. But that era, that time, do you remember that?
Yeah?
It's... I don't know. It just seemed kind of like there was like a... You know, now that I think about it, I haven't seen you make those eyeballs in a long time. I thought you might have it bad there for a while, and then it kind of went away.
I mean, I was really concerned about him at that time. That was like when all the, the water and...
Sure.
So I was trying to keep a close eye on him. Maybe that was it.
I don't know. It's weird. But, to set your mind at ease, I guess, there's no... I will tell you this, because I trust you. I do love them a lot, but I don't know how much of that is just the way you don't ever stop loving someone. I honestly don't really know. But Valine and I can't work. We're too dark and bitchy, we need... I need someone to balance me out. And I think that Elaine also needs that. They need lightness in their life that I cannot give them, nor can they give me. Sense?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. I mean, Harlan is... You are much softer with him.
Oh my god, please do not tell anybody. Like, do not let that information leave this porch.
Your secret is safe with me.
Okay.
I don't know, I had, my flirtation with Arabeth for like literally a day.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that happen.
Yeah.
In real time.
And I still think that she's awesome, and like I do want to explore that still, but it's weird because I don't... This is all uncharted for me. It's not... I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything, if I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut. The
That
last thing I
depends on
want
who
to
you
do
ask.
is hurt them
Or, I get that.
or get hurt or ruin our friendship. I mean,
Get that too.
I think I've always had a soft spot for Verlaine from the very first time we said crime buddies. But I was like 3, so...
Yeah, we're not going to investigate that one. We're not going to unpack that part right now. But,
But I'm just saying that they've always been there,
right.
is I guess what I'm saying.
That is true. I may not be the best person to ask on whether or not it's wise to play games, but I can tell you with reasonable certainty that I don't think at this point there's anything that you could do or say to Verlaine to not... I can't envision him walking away from you or from any of us for any reason. Sometimes things get awkward, like right now. So you just move through it, right? You just move through it. So
Okay.
I would say it's up to you. I would also say, just as an insider tip, I don't know how ready they are for
Oh yeah, no, I mean
anything.
that is super fair.
But it never hurts to lay some groundwork. You never know when somebody is going to be ready. He may not even realize if he will or when be ready. So, just like lay the foundation, just brick by brick. Take it easy. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few key things I've picked up. You always want to leave them like wanting more. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to.
Nope. Peach
There's
doesn't.
a delicate balance with the puns and the euphemisms, right? So like, pick your moments.
Okay.
I have found some success in showing a little skin, but you don't have to do that. Just whatever you.
Sorry. Moment of Paru trying on one of Olia's outfits going, is this work?
That's not it. That's
No,
not it.
that's not it. That's not it.
No. We'll
That's
find
not
your
it,
vibe.
Paru.
We'll find your vibe. I think at the end of the day, though, you just have to be you. And see what happens.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with like a good exercise in tropes. Like, there was only one bed, or like, they were roommates, or like, you could always trust me. It's all in the books. People, I don't know why people don't read more. It's all in books. The answers are always in the book.
All right. The answers are in the book. Okay. Okay. I will. Thank you. I appreciate your advice.
Careful with him. I know you know that, but I would be remiss if I didn't say it out loud.
I could do nothing but.
I'm gonna go to bed. I have to go.
Night. And Paro will climb back up to the Baba Yaga's hut and curl up next to the kittens and
Okay.
try and get some sleep.
All right. So, so you head to sleep, both of you. And Paru, the kittens, kind of curl up.
Besa
And
puts a blanket over all of them.
Verlaine and Harlan are up for a little while on the other porch. But eventually Harlan heads back, finds you, Oliette. You both go to sleep. And so yeah, Oliette, you fade to sleep. I have to imagine more out of exhaustion than anything. And for a while, it's just blessed silence for a little bit. You just completely conk out, and then after a little while, you begin to dream. And you're in Uncle Eb's bookshop again. It's one of those like warm winter evening, or like it's only warm because there's a fire in the fireplace, and there's this orange light sort of flickering around everything. You see all the books. You almost can smell it, the books, almost. And let me turn the music into something a little less horrifying for a moment, because it's not actually that. And you see, standing in the middle of the room, looking very, a little confused, a little, just a little studying the space, almost like he's checking the details. You see Uncle Eb. He's the blue-skinned tiefling, slight goat affectations, and he's got a little monocle on one side instead of glasses, and he's watching the. Eventually, he turns and sees you. Hello. This is very strange.
Hello, Uncle.
And he flips into Infernal when you do. You look well. He's keeping a slight distance. He doesn't. It seems like he's very uncertain about how this works. Pimble said you were looking to speak to me.
Yes, you said you would like to see me soon, so I thought this would be the quickest way.
Oh, that's sooner than I was thinking was possible.
Yes, I do apologize. I realize it's like 2 o'clock or something, but...
No, it's all right. I was a little, I was already napping, so it didn't take much effort.
Oh.
Lunchtime nap. I was tired. I have been told I should not be burning the candle at both ends. That is the...
That's true, but it's uncharacteristic of you to nap during business hours.
We do take the half-hour break in the afternoon.
Fair enough.
Right. There have not been as many, there haven't been that many customers as of late to begin with.
Uncle, I am very glad to be seeing you now. I realized that, well, we have been, unfortunately, in a bit of a dire situation. And, yeah, I'm afraid I don't know how to begin. I would advise that you sit and do your best to keep your heart rate steady I have quite a bit to tell you.
Very well. Sit.
You can spit. It's not. It's.
And he wanders over to his large backed chair next to the fireplace, and he takes a seat and kind of rubs at his knees. Before you start, and he gets back up out of the chair and walks over to you, and he puts his hands on your shoulders. And he just kind of looks down at you and smiles.
Real? Almost. Penguin was quite crafty.
He is, yes. He's very,
He's also very fetching to look at, don't you think? Well, just think on it. Anyway, please have a seat.
He gives you a hug. We're not going to unwrap that right now. No,
In the ground.
God, taking your own advice.
Taking my own advice.
He just puts his arms over your shoulders and just kind of hugs you tight a little bit. I'm very glad that you're safe. You are safe.
Yes.
I take it. Good.
Yes.
Good.
I am sleeping peacefully. I am in the Feywild right now.
Really?
Yes.
That is fascinating.
Well, that's a word for it. Yes.
That is that's quite a journey. How is it you came to be in the? I am meandering from your point. I am sorry. And he goes to the chair. And begin where you need to begin.
That's delicate. I will follow, and I'll sit on the floor, like right at his knee, like I did when I was little.
Do you want tea?
Sure. Did Pinball explain to you how to do that?
He merely said I could do what I wanted. And could manifest things as the curator of the dream. So I would like some tea, please. Oh. And there's tea, like, already fully steeped on a table near you. And he busts it out, but then he lets you talk.
I don't have very long. Well, you don't have very long, I don't think.
Pimble explained that if I wished, we could spend the whole of 7 hours together.
Helpful.
If you wished.
Of course I do.
That has been a time since we've had that many uninterrupted hours together.
Yes. I will, just as it should be done, explain to you the table of contents, and then I will elaborate from there. First, we have been... There's quite a lot I didn't tell you about what actually happened at that... Well, now that we know it's not a school.
Yes, that facility.
Correct. And we have presently been in a great deal of danger.
I was told as much of that, yes.
We are well. So, though I will probably tell you things that will upset you, you should know that they are in the past, and everything's fine. Time being. I currently am very snug and safe as I explain all of this to you.
And he just nods at the right parts. And very, very well.
then.
I will steel myself.
And I will tell him everything.
Okay.
I will tell him everything about the queens, about the war, about the Babas, about Harland,
The Lord of Tales,
Lord of Tales,
and presumably Villain as well.
Lane, Rose Upon the River.
The kittens are still hanging out with us.
The kittens that try to steal my shit. Like, Beza met God. I'm going to tell him
He
everything.
met the kittens, so yeah, it's just like, you're still hanging out with us, two vagabonds.
Not left outside.
those two-
And I think it's for the better. For the most part. But yes, I will tell him as much as I can squeeze into a 7-hour recap as possible, which
Probably, I mean, that's like a
Ridiculous.
supersized save point episode of this show, so yeah, I feel like you could probably explain the plot of this show in 7 hours with pretty decent detail.
yeah.
Okay. And he'll occasionally stop. You do catch at some points he loses the train of thought and fixates on a particular thing that he really wants to know about. And then you have to kind of steer it back. Okay, so back to the fact that so less about the nature of the book or the restricted section of the Reacclimation Center, more about the actual, the thing that we did. And there is a point where he's just sitting. After a little bit, he goes from sitting kind of politely to sort of sitting all the way back in the chair to sort of leaning forward on his knees, just kind of almost like leaning closer so he can hear the story better, kind of thing. And eventually he just sort of leans back with his tea that keeps refilling. It's wonderful.
I think the parts that I save for the end, the parts that are the hardest for me to express, are putting into words how I feel about Harland and explaining the nature of the Queen of Beauty and what I saw. And trying to kind of express what she means to me and how much I need her. But that my service and my allegiance does not take away from.
You mean the Queen of the Word? You said
Both.
Queen. Oh, okay.
Tell him about Baba Soli, but that the Queen of the Word is.
Sorry, you said Queen of Beauty, so I was like,
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I'm sorry. I switched back to my queen. Yeah.
I assume you also tell him what you saw when you saw Her Majesty of
Yes.
Beauty, though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm drawing the parallel for him so he doesn't have to overanalyze it. I already understand the subtext here. Kind
Oh
of a thing.
boy, once you introduce the Babas into the storyline, he's like, he just has so many questions about the nature of the queens versus the Babas. He's just poof.
But that's what I spend my time doing.
Do you tell him about your grandfather?
I was just gonna say.
Okay.
I think I tell him that I believe I have found relations of ours, but I don't go into a ton more detail there because I still really want them to meet and I don't want him to overthink it or work himself up. So I do tell him that I believe we have relations on this island. I want to take you there when I can make that happen, or bring him to you, or bring them to you, or something. And the only part I leave out is getting turned to stone.
Okay.
But yeah, I tell him everything. Other than that,
He seems a little stone-faced for a lot of it, but that's just kind of his way when he's absorbing information. He doesn't react to everything the way that you might hope as a storyteller someone to react to certain
Give me more
things.
oohs and ahs.
Yeah, come on. But you know that his sort of internal process is probably a lot more involved than his outward expression when he's listening to things. Especially, there's just a lot. When you get to what Her Majesty of Beauty looks like, he does sort of meet your eyes and his face kind of goes a little soft. And then, I'm trying to think of any of the other... He gets a similar look on his face when you talk about Harland. And by the end, when you start mentioning the relations, the relatives you might have on Mythgar, he nods and kind of chews on that a little bit. I mean, he does look like a goat. Sorry. I suppose if you think that there would be a, if you think that they are worth meeting, I suppose we could make, I could make time to.
I mean, as you said, there's not that many customers. I'm sure your friend Jacqueline might be willing to watch the shop for you.
Oh, I'm certain she if I asked, I'm certain she would accommodate.
Certain she would.
I suppose the question is the question of actually if they are outside the chronogram boundaries, I do not know how one would bring them here, or...
Uncle, I must ask you if believe me, I do know how much you like order, things being in their proper place, all the like. But would you just think on what it might look like if you, for whatever reason, had to leave the shop? There may come a time, given what I've shared with you, wherein it is not safe to be there. Currently, Mythgar is, for all intents and purposes, a free place. There are books there. I've seen them. I have a few. Good. Think on it. If you had to bring someone, I'm sure we could figure that out.
I will think on it. Yes.
It's a lot to process. I understand.
I do appreciate you being so frank with me. I know that was only not a lot of time has passed for me.
I know.
From when you first left the house and
I know.
to now. And in that time you have lived a sight bit more than I have.
Don't. But if any of that, perhaps not all of the, life-threatening on the run, not that, but if any of the rest of it interests you, I should like very much to see you happy and free.
free. That is curious. I do not feel unfree. It is all I have known. You have seen... We have spent so very much time together, seeing the world through pages. And to see to see so much change in you as you step outside of that. Though I suppose you did not technically leave a page. He kind of has a little smirk on his face.
That's a joke.
Just a small one.
Right. It's very good. I should not force you, so if you think on it and you feel that you would be better fulfilled where you are, I understand. But it may very well come to pass that these cities will fall. I would be happy to know that you are somewhere else when that happens.
Yes. If it is your preference that I disembark from this place, from home, from the shop, I will grant it the consideration that it is due, as it is a request you are making of me.
It's the only request that I make is that you are well, I don't want you to do it for me. I would like you to think about doing it for you. You've thought about me first for a long time. So, perhaps allow me to assist you in putting yourself first.
That is an unnatural impulse in me. I am afraid I will have to work on that.
Then that's your homework.
To be selfish.
Just a little bit. I will arrange to see you again. I don't know how long it will be, but I will try to be better, keeping you updated. I don't want to be caught on the back foot.
I would like to know how you are, and if not that I assume there is anything that I can do to assist you.
You can be well and be ready. I probably have to go soon.
You do not like Jacqueline. I do not always catch your... You have become increasingly less subtle as an adult than you were as a child. I always found it very hard to read your thoughts on your face. It is much easier now.
yes, I suppose I've become a bit more expressive.
Yes.
If you'd like to call it that. I don't care for her, no. However,
Why? I do not understand that. She has been perfectly polite to you.
I understand that. Are you really going to spend the last few minutes we have together lecturing me?
No, I am not wishing to lecture. I was wishing to understand.
Uncle, she's fine, I suppose. I don't like that they're as proper as it should be. I don't like that there's someone else to take care of you. But I cannot be there all the time. So I like even less the thought of you being alone. I will tolerate her till she proves herself worthy of my affections, Uncle. But if she has proven herself worthy of yours, then I support you.
She has expressed to me that it would be for both of our benefit, yours and mine, if I were to take care of myself.
Don't want it to make any sense. Don't say things like that. Okay, fine. She's not incorrect. I will try. We must understand, even if you don't feel it in the same way. Jealousy is quite natural.
You have no reason to be jealous of Jacqueline. I enjoy her company. She is very kind to me. We have many things in common, and we have known each other for a time. We are friends. You and I are blood. We are family. It is a different, exponential difference.
I do understand that, Uncle. I've just become very accustomed to being,
Selfish. He has a little smirk on his face.
2 jokes. I don't know how I feel about it. I really must run.
He nods.
I will see you again soon. It might be like this. Perhaps if we do this again, you could take us somewhere else. Maybe somewhere I've never been, something I've never seen.
You have seen as much as I have seen. More, in fact, now. But I will consider if I can perhaps take us somewhere new.
At the very least, perhaps a different type of tea.
Well, it was what I was drinking today. It was the first thing in the forefront of my thoughts. I will try some other flavors soon to have a better index in the back of my head of flavor palettes.
Don't push yourself, just an idea. And I will get up and since he's still seated, I'll just kind of lean over and give him a kiss on the cheek.
And he puts his hand on the side of your face and kind of like keeps your head near his. He kind of like rests his forehead a little bit against yours.
All right. be well and be ready. That's all.
I will. I will do my best.
Just stay here and wake up at your leisure. And I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder. And then I'll make my way to the front door as though I'm leaving. I realize that it works differently here, but I don't want him to see me leave.
Pinball expressed to me that would you like to wake up? It is...
When I open the door and close it, send me on my way.
Very well. And he finishes his tea and puts it on the table. And just, he watches you go. And the door shuts. Like maybe just a hair's breadth after that. You wake up gently. It's a very calm sleep.
I will probably just roll up and curl into Harland and just think about it. Till it's time to get up.
He was probably awake. Harlan's probably a very early riser. But he was still there. Just sort of holding you. That was it. He didn't move or anything. Paru, you wake up with... I'm really bad at doing this sound, but... like just
Purring.
right next to your face, because Toshi's just like...
Aww.
And
like, the idea that Tabaxi's purr now is amazing in my head. I've never thought of Tabaxi's purring before, just now, and I'm like, yes.
you I'm gonna say, Beza, you were taking watch, so you were up and kind of shifting around the camp.
Trying not to sink in the mud.
Para, you see Villain asleep on the same porch just against the front, like near the front door. Nicket is like also against the wall, but had at some point slid against him.
She just kind of chuckles to herself.
Beza has also put a blanket on them.
And Villain kind of blinks his eyes open. Hey, morning.
Hey.
He just kind of chuckles at Nicket. She acts like she's too cool for any of this, and then this. I try not to give her too much shit for it.
They really look up to you. It's easy to tell.
Whew. You know, a little while back I would have been like, don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I'm doing what I can.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Right, why is he so soft and warm?
It's all the digestion. Just a constant rolling of food into energy. Most of it comes off his body heat.
Yeah, I thought it was just purring, but apparently I'm hearing that incorrectly then.
Oh, no, he's definitely purring. It's just the stomach churning.
It's a little less delightful when you put it that way. Coffee? You want me to make coffee?
Oh, yes, thank you. I need
Yeah.
something caffeinated. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Give me a few.
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna. And he sort of looks down at Nick. I'm just gonna hang here for a bit.
Yeah. Cat is sleeping on you, you're stuck. It's the rules.
No, don't hear her. Don't let her hear you.
She tucks Toshi back under the blanket and begins to make coffee for all assembled parties.
Toshi shifts and you start hearing a snore. And a purr. It's just all the body vibration happening in his face. Just all of it.
Like, oh, buddy. Okay. So, yes, there is coffee.
And so, yeah, so people kind of wake up a little. And I would assume the Babas don't wake up. They're just, whatever, they're in their lairs.
You're like, we're busy.
So, you all sort of gather a little bit in the morning.
All over that coffee, for what it's worth.
Oh,
All
yeah,
over.
no. Everybody just... Villain, it looks like Villain is spending a little time attuning to his prosthetic. He had it off during the evening. And the kitten. So you know, like when kids wake up first thing in the morning and they just look like blank, hair everywhere, just puffy face. It's just that's the kittens are right now. They're just like frazzled hair, glassy eyed, just not fully conscious yet.
Deep sleep. It's amazing to watch kids wake up like that.
Except Toshi's just
me.
like Villain just hands him food, and Toshi's just like, just not even making eye contact, just. And so you all get up and you all hear in your head in that telepathic way, because you do have the book again. Sorry.
That was Toshi.
Yeah.
Chicken in here.
Are we leaving them here when we go into the book?
God, I hate it when we do that.
Or are we gonna try to take them?
Do you think now might be the time to try? Now that we know that there's not an active war going on?
I mean, I don't know when it's gonna be a better time, given that things are only gonna get worse.
I really don't want them out of our sight.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to introduce them to the queen, well, the other queens. They should get to know the grandparents, right?
Somewhere. A Loxodon feels his heart seize.
My grandpapa.
I mean, I can definitely guarantee my dad's gonna spoil them. Probably Iverick, too.
God.
Do we not spoil them already?
I was gonna say.
Have you met my dad?
That's true. I'm eager to see this happen.
I am here for it.
We can always arrange to come back if things start to get a little hairy. And we'll drop them back off here, but it would be nice to show them where we've been going, right?
Yeah, well, and, you know, we're not gonna have necessarily a lot of opportunities down the road where we know we're leaving the book with someone we can definitely trust to keep it safe from you know who.
Yeah.
Right.
Inky asshole bastard.
We know
whatever you
who.
wanna call him.
We know who. We know who.
No, you can tell us. Who is it? Who is it, Beza? Who is it?
You just want to hear me cuss.
I do. I really do love it.
It's pretty amazing.
It goes really well with this coffee.
Basic cursing and coffee is what gets us up in the morning.
Certainly isn't. I can't believe you ate that suspicious stew, Para.
Why? I was hungry.
Okay, there are
It looked like
some. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, all right. Nope. You're right. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Food is food.
but it looked like
Unless
some
it's
of it was
mushrooms.
it looked like some of it was still moving.
You guys remember where I grew up, right?
That's fair. Okay. So we'll take them. Again,
Yeah.
if things start to get super dicey, we'll abort. We'll bring them back here. And we'll just do this one more time. We're going to have to come back and deal with all of this, I think, fairly soon anyway. So
That's true.
And I think that Toshi's really going to love those little forest rainbow tailor things that we met. It's
Oh
a
my
cute
gosh.
place.
The wit crisps.
The wit crisps, yeah. Legally
you can-
distinct magical trolls.
Correct.
Magic
you
fashion
can
trolls, not magic wishing trolls.
help me pick out an outfit from them or something.
I would literally love nothing more than that. We could do the three of us. It's been a while since we've gotten Beza like zhuzhed up.
3?
Me and Beza and Park. What?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Why 3?
Wait, who said that? Who
Verlaine.
am I talking to?
Verlaine's like,
I
Wait,
think
we
they're saying
don't-
they want new clothes too.
we don't all get new clothes.
Listen.
I think
Oh my god,
shopping trip is
outfitting
important.
is incredible. Oh,
Toshi, honey, you want some new clothes?
What?
my god.
You got
My
some
dreams.
amazing new clothes?
My dreams are coming true.
Yeah, I think you gotta probably take his waistline out a little bit. Shut up!
Oh, you'll walk that off. Don't worry about it.
It was hard getting the top button on today. It's because of the food, baby, kiddo.
From your lips to your hips, you know what they
He's
say.
like, what? Not a real metaphorical. You're fine. You all hear
All right. You are a growing boy. You are A-okay, kiddo.
Verlaine takes a long drag of coffee. And you all hear in your heads, God fucking damn it, this is witchcraft. She's fucking good at that. As he's drinking the coffee.
Wait, about my coffee or just...
What?
I'm so confused. And
What? What are you talking about? I didn't say anything.
Okay. Yep. So shopping trip. Yay, 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 yay. Let's do this.
Oh yeah,
But it was
at
definitely
random intervals, you're gonna hear the thoughts of one of the characters through the book. New little quirk of the book in the material world, thanks to Babasoli.
nice.
But can we all hear it?
You all heard Verlaine think
Wait.
that to himself.
But does that apply to all of them?
I'm gonna roll a d6. And anytime you use the book to communicate with each other, I'm going to roll a d6.
Hey.
And whoever
my
it lands
God.
on, you have to share something you're thinking.
Innermost.
So my question was that about the coffee?
That was about the
or
coffee.
only- okay.
Oh no,
I
that was about Paru and the coffee.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. So,
I'm very, very happy.
yeah.
That made my day.
All right, so we're taking We're taking a field trip with the kittens then, right?
Sounds good. All right. Well, yeah, I guess we take a trip.
Who wants to tell him? Because there's going to be probably a lot of excitement and possibly jumping from that one.
Hey
And
kids,
she-
you want to go into the book? What? After a little bit of physical jumping,
Got it. Freaking adorable.
they do. It's both. It's Toshi going what and Nickit going what at the same time, and you give them a rundown of what the plan is. That we're gonna leave the book with the Babas, and the kids are gonna go in with you to the book.
And if it gets sticky,
tombstone.
we're turning this car around.
We're leaving.
Nobody
We're
eats
leaving.
popsicles. We're going home.
And we're supposed to stick by any gigantic crows or mushroom people.
Yes.
Well, not any gigantic. There's
Well,
one specific crow.
The snooty gigantic raven.
Oh, snooty is an ugly word, and we're not going to use that in front of Siegfried, okay?
Okay.
She's distinguished, and she's discerning,
The
okay?
distinguished and concerning raven.
No.
You can just call her
that one.
disgruntled.
Aru.
It's
She
not
is
completely
disgruntled.
inaccurate.
She makes it look so good.
You'll also
She
be
is
very-
she is the personification of Lesai.
You'll also be very safe with the Lockstone Knights.
Right. So either elephants, mushrooms, or ravens. Those are
Don't
the
make a
good.
list. Just commit specific faces, I think, to memory is going to be the safer.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but the mushrooms don't have faces.
The giant hole in this plan here.
Okay. You know what? We'll figure it out. Figure it out when we get there.
Okay.
Any of the circle you'll
I
be
mean-
safe with. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Honestly, just stay close to us and you'll be fine.
Okay. Where are we going?
Now.
We'll go right now.
Okay. And Valaine's like, buddy system now. Looking at the two kids. They both just hold hands.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure that the, I think it's the Yucca that I gave to Nickit. Make sure that it's like strapped on nice and tight.
Okay. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I got it. I know how to pack heat.
It's not, no. That's very, yesterday. We're not going to, no.
Okay.
We'll get you there.
Okay.
Pack heat. Who the fuck have you been talking to? All right, y'all ready?
Baba Disha.
Yep.
I love Baba Disha.
Somewhere in the distance, there's like a in the window of Baba Disha's hut. So you just hear like a inside the hut. And so I don't remember. I'm pretty sure you have to like invoke the book, ask for an invitation. So yeah, so you turn the pages. Some of them are a little worse for wear, but most of them are fine. Once again, let me try to figure out something. Oh, never mind. Your passive is bullshit. Okay, so
Oh, my passive is
no.
bullshit?
The person reading the book right now,
Oh.
her passive is bullshit.
Yeah, well, there's that.
It is half yours minus one part. So yes. Oh yeah. You flip through the book. You find an empty page, and you write your RSVP into the.
I will write that we need to, we have reinforcements and training in tow. So we basically need 2 extra seats on the bus, so to speak.
God. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up right here then. You write that. Her Majesty of the Word writes back, "See you soon." And that fog surrounding the Baba's huts in the swamp starts like encroaching on the houses and getting closer and closer to your fields of vision until you are only the group of you, and Oliette, you're having the book, and then eventually it just kind of overtakes all of you and you don't see each other, and you feel that sensation of falling. There's a little bit of a chill to it, almost like you are falling. And you sort of catch yourselves in that sensation, like, oh, okay. And you still can't see each other. It's still fog. And there's like just the slightest anxiety in the back of your head, like, oh God, did it not work? Did we not actually teleport? But eventually you hear more a different soundscape, which does indicate that you have teleported. You feel the air is a little colder, and again, you can't really see much, but eventually you somebody finds a tree. You are in a forest space, and we'll say, Beza, you climb up a tree to get another view. It's very, very reminiscent of your first trip. And as you break the canopy, you see just over what seems to be just real low-hanging clouds in a almost pre-dawn time of day. You are, in fact, dawnward. And you see the sun just on the horizon, and everything's in dark blues and purples, and just starting to fade into oranges as the sun's coming up, but never actually changing position. Just perpetual dawn here. And as you're looking up through, this is it's a little different than the trees you're used to. You're in, these are much, much older, and they seem a little past their prime. It takes a little bit for you to find an angle through the fog that you can actually see something beyond this forest. And eventually you see mountains in the distance, like on the horizon line, which is a good sign. You see land. And you see, oh God, okay, there's the tower. You see the huntsman's tower. You cast an eye to the left, past everything that you kind of vaguely see as familiar, but again, it's that some stuff has shifted a little bit. It's a little hard to identify everything. I also don't remember ever being this close to dawnward, or that fog is something new. And slightly to the left, you see what would be the barren lands, that newly encroached desert space. And you see massive scars of void. Nothing. Kind of breaking up the desert. A little bit closer to you in the desert, you do see a termite mound kind of poking up. It's a little easier to see because it's actually, in the foreground versus one of these massive jagged cuts of black in the background so you can see. Oh yeah, darn, just missed it.
Close.
And what you also catch with just barely catch, actually. Yeah, you're not too bad. Your passive's okay. You catch a winged figure in the sky. Can't really tell the distance, but it looks like some sort of bird. Very dark. Might be a ways away. If it is, that bird's probably pretty big.
Beza lets out as sharp and loud a whistle as she can, trying to see if she can get the bird's attention and waving.
Okay. So you let out a huge whistle, and the tree beneath you starts like shifting, and you're just holding on as you disturb the slumber of the tree you were in.
Starts laughing.
Birds start like freaking out and flying away out of the canopy. They were sleeping.
Whoa.
In Druidic, Paro's like, so sorry to disturb you. I did not mean to wake you. Our apologies. Just like trying to calm the tree down.
Olivia, in the back of your head, you're like, I'm gonna wear one of you like an accessory in about a week. Just fucking wait.
Kindling.
And I just mean your shield.
I just want my shield.
Man, that shield better be pretty fucking good if I'm waiting this long to give it to you. So the trees, as the birds start flying through the tree, like out of the tree, you see this big ant that just kind of, it's gnarled and sort of like lopsided face. You're not sure if it looks like that or if it was just sleeping. So it's just, and Paru's like trying to chill it out, and the last thing you see before we stop is the tree ant looking very, very grumpy at you, and only kind of slowing a little bit and relaxing as these little veins of glowing material on the ground start giving off a bit of a blue glow along from the base of the tree out, and sort of connecting all the trees in the forest together, and the tree just like leaning down on an arm, staring right down at you, Paru. Beza clinging to the head of the thing. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
I was very happy, girl.
All right. Well, that is what we have for you all wonderful people this evening. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the raids, Graham Crackers and Laugh Love Lindy. Thank you guys so much. Any of you who stayed, thank you. Also, thank you to Trextrian for following us about 15 minutes ago. So thank you. Yeah, there we go. See, thank you to the things, because I have buttons now that'll show those things. All right, that is, as I said, what we got for you this evening. You all are wonderful. We have a funky schedule coming up because Kyle wasn't available tonight, and I will not be here on Tuesday next week. So we do not have Shenanigoons next week. The week after, the 26th, we might. We'll see. I have stuff I got to do that night, but it might not impact. We'll see. But I will keep you all updated as much as I can. But as a, spiritual placeholder.
Spiritual placeholder. I love it.
Why did my brain go spiritual placeholder? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. So Thursday, the 14th, Thursday
Yes.
the 21st and Thursday the 28th, the next 3 Thursday nights, we will be just delightfully joined via the stream by our very own Tessa, who will be running the Nerdsmith Spooktacular, a three-part mini game. Anything you want to share, Tessa, about the?
Yes. We will
about the
be
game?
starting at 7 p.m. and we'll
Okay.
be running Monster of the Week.
Very nice.
Heather will be joining me as Ranger Thea Cobb, the professional
Park Ranger.
park ranger.
I love it.
We will have Kyle Gold from Tavern Tales joining us
Awesome.
as Chaz the Flake. We will have Leona from Vibrant Legends joining us as Jaya the Spellslinger.
Awesome.
And we will be having Robert in his stream debut here on Nerdsmith as Dirt the Spooky.
Amazing.
Because, of course, he is.
Yes. Tessa is bringing her progeny onto onto stream.
Yep. I am letting my 16-year-old come on and entertain you. I apologize in advance. We'll see how it goes.
Ah, he's a good kid.
He's a
Sorry,
good kid.
Villain just came out a little bit. Nah, he's a good kid. That's awesome. So, if you want to check out Monster of the Week is a great system. I cannot say enough good things about Power by the Apocalypse systems. They are really fun. They're really quick to get into, and they hold your hand in just the right amount, I think. So yeah, please check them out. We'll have some stuff up tonight or today because I forgot to put the ad together. I'll have the ad out today. For it, but it will be the 14th, 21st, and the 28th of this month.
Yes.
And so
We'll be we're going for comedic horror. So
Yes.
if horror games are not necessarily your thing, don't worry. I will not be leaning too far into the horror.
hence
we're gonna be more-
spooktacular, not
we're gonna
like
be-
horror
yeah.
night.
Yeah, horror night.
Shaun of the Dead, not
Dead.
Resident Evil.
I heard
Yeah.
Dale and Tucker versus Tail and Ducker. My brain.
Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
Thank you.
That's kind of that's the level I'm going for. And
Dirt and Chaz versus Evil.
Oh my god. Yes, spoopy, not spooky.
Absolutely.
All right, so please check them out. I will, obviously, if I'm not there on Tuesday, I won't have, I'm probably not going to have Discover next week either. But we'll be trying to put out some content on Twitter to compensate. So please follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. And of course, if you haven't joined our Discord already, we have lots of fun things going on. I haven't really been talking about it much, and I really should put the word out that we are doing a contest this month for our Enthrall dice.
yes, we are.
It is an art contest or a Hero Forge contest. If you have Hero Forge Pro, you can make scenes, and what we'd like you to do is either use Hero Forge or use whatever art you would like to show us your favorite scene from the show so far, from this campaign. And we will be voting on the winner as a group, and we will provide that person with the Dire Enthrall multi-class
Yes.
die. So
Is
yeah.
in my hand right here.
You
Lovely.
can submit it via Twitter if you want to use if you want to @ the Shenanigoons on Twitter. You will be able to. You'll just ping us, so we'll know that. I think. Nope, don't have it. It's @ the Shenanigoons because they didn't have Shenanigans. Yes, there's no the. I do need to go get that. I need to bring back some of those.
Yes, I agree.
Because right now we only have that one, and I kind of want. You know what we should do? So I have a Stream Deck now, right? I also have Voice Mod now, which I want to incorporate. I almost did tonight, but I just didn't want to mess with it. I have a sound effect for when people respond to sendings. It's
my
like an
gosh.
echo. It's really cool. I didn't think to set it up for night. But there are plugins that you can have voice mod affected by people submitting bits. They can change your voice with bits. It's
Amazing.
hilarious. But I'm curious if you can get them to trigger a soundboard button. And so I could put some of those Shenanigoons songs, those Shenanitunes, on the sound thing. If somebody wants to
We
submit,
have so many.
if somebody wanted to submit bits to play a
many
random
Shenanitunes.
Shenanitune, we could do that while while people are prepping for combat or something. We could open it up to the jukebox or something, and people could
I love
could
that.
donate.
And now I have
Miss
the song stuck in
Matthews.
my head.
Welcome to
The smooth jazz version, yeah,
Yes.
it's very good.
Love that you subscribe.
So, that's all I got. I keep saying so, which is my placeholder for we gotta go. You all have been absolutely wonderful. This was a fun, chill out session because it
Yes.
was sort of necessary. And we'll find out what's going on in the book next time we see you. So either the 26th or the next Tuesday after that, but we'll keep you up to date. Thank you all so much for sharing this story with us. We will see you for chapter 46 sometime very soon. Please have a safe evening. Have a great rest of your week. Check out the Spooktacular on Thursday night. If you follow us here on Twitch, you'll get pinged when they go live anyway, so you'll know. And please, above all, do us a favor and be good to each other. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.